Hello, this is Amy from Rain Studios, and I'm ready to do another tutorial. This one I'm going to do on Mobius rings, or infinity rings, or love knot rings, or they have a variety of names. This is what I'm talking about right here. It's a series of interconnected rings that when they connected, they kind of look like they're going around and around forever, which is why some people call them infinity rings. It's also been called a wedding knot. They're really simple to make, and you can pretty much use any size ring as long as it's not too small to make them. I like to use 16 gauge 10 millimeter ID. So here's a little wedding knot, infinity love knot. Let's just call them Mobius rings. That's probably the general way to call them. We are going to make this little Mobius rings. This pair, I've put on a pair of earrings. Let's see if I can get it to focus. My eternal problem. Let me just keep it down here, I guess. So I use this ring in a lot of components in my jewelry. I make earrings out of them. I also, if I take this ear wire off, I run a chain through there, and it's a necklace, an infinity love knot necklace. Jeepers, I'm having a real problem focusing today. And then I also use them in conjunction with a Byzantine chainmaille weave to make this beautiful bracelet. This one is in gold fill. I think today I'm going to show you how to make the Mobius rings and also how to connect it to a Byzantine, a little section of Byzantine. So you could make earrings. Here's my Byzantine Mobius ring earrings. Here's a little half section of Byzantine connected to Mobius rings. This earring is half sterling silver and half gold fill. And as you can see, it really is, it's almost not even a whole half section of Byzantine. Oh, I guess it is half. Okay, so we're going to make a pair of earrings, and you could extrapolate this tutorial to go ahead and also do a whole bracelet if you wanted. So let's get started with the Mobius rings. We're going to start with 16 gauge 10 millimeter rings, and again, you could really do this in any size you wanted as long as it's not too small. And it's really a simple thing to do. I'm going to close this ring up. There we go, all closed. Now we take another ring and open it. I kind of have to open them off camera, but I'll show you what I'm doing after they're open. All right, so then we scoop that ring on and close. The other thing is you could really make your Mobius rings as many rings as you wanted. I've done a custom pair of earrings with actually 10 rings on it, and it symbolized 10 friends, the friendship of 10 people. It was really sweet. The lady said it was 10 friends who've been friends for over 50 years. Oh, it just touched my heart. Okay, so I got 2 rings here, one going through the other. And the key to Mobius rings is you always want to flip it the same way each time. I like to flip it, this top part here, down towards me like this, and then you just push them together. Okay, then the next ring, you do the same thing. I'm opening it, I scoop both of those rings on, I close the ring, and now here's my new ring. I'm going to fold it down towards me and push them together. Okay, and then just set it down so you don't get them all screwed up. And I'm going to do one more ring, so it's going to have a total of 4 rings. I scoop them on, I close, and I turn that down towards me and push them together. And that's it. That's how you make the Mobius rings. One problem I've seen, I've taught this bracelet, this Byzantine and love knot bracelet, as a class several times, and sometimes people, they get dropped, and they're like, oh no, it's all messed up. Well, it's really easy, actually. So you just drop it and kind of shove them all together, and it becomes apparent. You drop it, push them together, and see, look, that's the way it should go. Drop it, push it together, and now that one, you can kind of, it might look a little okay, but it actually looks like it's not okay. These two just need to be flipped over. Now it's okay. Drop it. These two kind of need to go flipped over. If you're ever wondering, oh no, have some of them come out of whack, just go ahead and drop it, push them together. You can kind of see this one ring needs to be flipped over. There we go. Okay, so that's how you make a Mobius ring. It's very, very simple. We're going to connect this now to a little section of Byzantine. I've got my 16 gauge 4.5 rings right here, and I'm going to just start off by using this right on the end. I'm going to put this little Mobius ring on there and close it up. If you've watched my Byzantine tutorial, you know that we start with a 2-2-2 chain, and I'm just putting the chain, the 2-2-2 chain, right off of this section, this little Mobius conglomerate. So there's my first two of my 2-2-2 chain, and now I'm gonna scoop two more on here like that. We're doing it speed weaving style, and I'm going to pop these on there and close. And now, since these weren't pre-closed, these two rings I added here, they were not pre-closed, so I got to close them up too. Okay, so now we got a 2-1-2 chain. Got to make it a 2-2-2 chain. So I'm going to double that ring in the middle. Blah, 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 blah. I go through those two on the end. And then also go through those two. Focus. There we go. And close. So now I've got my 2-2-2 chain. This is really hard to do with a camera in your way, let me tell you. Okay, here's my 2-2-2 chain. Just like I'm making Byzantine, only it's got this little looper on the end. And now we're going to do the same thing we would do if we were making straight Byzantine. I fold those down. Try not to hit my camera. And I open those up. So that's open like so. And if I was making earrings, there's my one ring down, and I'm locking it down. If I was making earrings, I could just put my ear wire right on here, and that would be my earring. See, take a look. Where'd my earring go? That would be pretty much done if it was an earring. I would just need to put an earring wire right on that top loop, that top ring, just like this. See, that's just exactly how this one is. Let's see if zooming helps. There we go. Just like this. Here's this earring. Half a section of Byzantine, only one ring going through the top there to lock it down, and I just put my earring right on there, and that's it. That's how you would make the earring. Okay, we're going to go a little further though, as if we're making a bracelet. So I'm going to put my second ring on to lock those down, just like that, and close. Okay, and once again, this is just half a section of Byzantine right here. We could not do half sections of Byzantine to make this bracelet, because if we were to put the Mobius rings through here, it would kind of mess up the rings would go up and down like this instead of laying flat. So that's why, if we look at this, it's got half here, and then another Mobius ring. If the Mobius rings are in that middle of this full section of Byzantine, then the rings would be like up and down instead of lying flat like that. And that's actually, you know, in class, sometimes people add the Mobius ring in too early, and and they're like, why does this not look right? That's the reason why, because you've added the Mobius rings on too soon. Okay, so I've got my second Mobius here ready to go, but I need to finish this section of Byzantine. So we're going to do another 2, 2, 2 chain. I'm scooping on 2 rings like that, and then I'm going through the end, and I'm closing. And I'm going to close these 2 I added because I didn't have them pre-closed before. It's always you can always pre-close a bunch if you want. I never do that. I hate sitting and closing rings. I just add them on and then close them before I go to the next step. So here's my chain. I got a 2, 1, 2 chain. Let me put it down so it'll focus. And let me zoom in. So here's my 2, 2, 1, 2 chain. I got to double that ring in the middle. Go through these 2 on the end, and then go through these 2 here and close. Now I've got my 2, 2, 2 chain. Okay, now we're ready to lock this section of Byzantine down and add the Mobius ring. So this can be a little tricky, and if you're new at this, if it's too hard for you to do this part, one way to make it a little easier is to only do a Mobius knot of 3 rings instead of 4. I like the look that 4 rings has, but if it's tricky, then by all means, just try it with three rings in your Mobius, because it is going to be hard to close this ring up. All right, so we're locking this down with my ring. I've separated them, locked it down. I'm going through. There we go. Okay, so here it's through and it's locked down. Now what we're doing is I'm going to add this Mobius ring right through there. And as you can see, it's going to be a tight squeeze, but it can be done. I'm going to close it a little bit. That guy slipped off. See, this is why it's easier to do it with 3 rings. I'm going to just add them back on. Carefully close a little more. Focus, please. There we go. So there is the Byzantine with the Mobius section added on. Of course, that ring is a single ring, and we need to double it, which is what we're going to do next. So I take another ring, open it up, we're going to double this guy. Go through the Mobius, okay. There we go. Okay, so this ring is on the end around those Mobius rings, and I have to slide it on to double this ring. See how I slid it into place right there? I'm going to get my pliers right on the very tip of that ring. And to close this ring, I like to take my bent nose pliers and turn them upside down. Usually I hold them like this. I'm flipping them around so I can just use those very fine tips to get right in there, grab that ring, and now I'm going to close. All right, that is beautiful. So now it's the first part of a little section of a little bracelet. And if I was going to continue on, I would just do the exact same thing. I would add my next 2 rings right on the end of this Mobius rings and make a 2, 2, 2 chain and keep going until I had my desired length, until I have a beautiful, gorgeous bracelet. Okay, so lots of things you can do with the Mobius. You can make the earrings, you can make a bracelet, you can make earrings with byzantine. It's a great little component to add to any piece of jewelry. And that is how you make the Mobius. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.